The mind is the creative workshop of reality, the silent architect shaping every experience you encounter, every condition you face, every event that comes into your life. It is not outer circumstances that determine your destiny. It is not luck, chance, or fate. It is the silent, steady, invisible workings of your own mind that build, attract, arrange, and then mold the outer world according to the blueprint you hold within. The thoughts you think, the images you sustain, the feelings you dwell upon are the raw materials out of which the conditions of your life are fashioned. Every invention, every work of art, every towering building first existed in the mind of someone who dared to conceive it. The sculptor sees the statue within the stone before his hands begin their work. The architect holds the vision of the cathedral before a single stone is laid. So it is with your life. Before you see the manifestation in the world of form, you must first see it, feel it, and accept it in the hidden world of your own consciousness. The mind is the place where all creation begins, and as you train it, discipline it, and nourish it with right images, you shape your reality according to your highest desires. Your mind is constantly at work. Whether you guide it consciously or allow it to drift aimlessly determines the kind of life you experience. If you leave it unattended, it picks up the fears, doubts, and limitations of the world around you and builds accordingly. If you consciously fill it with thoughts of harmony, abundance, success, and health, it builds a life of corresponding beauty and fulfillment. You are always creating, whether by default or by design. The choice is yours. When you realize that your mind is a workshop, you begin to treat your thoughts as sacred. You become aware that every mental image, every affirmation, every feeling tone is a tool, a brick, a beam in the structure of your life. You understand that careless thinking leads to unstable structures, while focused, loving, faith-filled thinking erects temples of joy, prosperity, and peace. You stop throwing together mental images haphazardly. You begin to design your life with care, with purpose, with reverence for the creative power entrusted to you. The creative workshop of the mind is most potent when you dwell persistently on the end result you desire, seeing it clearly, feeling it deeply, believing in its reality even before it appears. It is not necessary to know how your good will come to pass. The builder does not question the laws of physics when constructing a bridge. He works with them, trusting their reliability. So too must you trust the unseen laws of mind, knowing that as you hold your vision steadily, my loved life rearranges itself to fit the pattern you have supplied. There is no power in heaven or earth that can withhold from you the good you mentally accept and emotionally embody. The creative forces of the universe do not question your worthiness, your past, your seeming limitations. They respond solely to the blueprint you present through the steady application of thought and feeling. If you impress upon your mind the idea of success, and you water it with faith, gratitude, and expectancy, the subconscious mind accepts it, nurtures it, and brings forth its corresponding form. You must, therefore, guard the workshop of your mind with the same care a master craftsman gives to his tools. You must not allow fear to mar the design. You must not allow doubt to weaken the structure. You must not permit resentment, bitterness, or self-pity to corrode the foundation. Every thought matters. Every image counts. Every feeling builds. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you are always at work, always building, always constructing the edifice of your life. The quality of your creations depends entirely on the quality of the material you provide to the mind's workshop. It is here, within your own consciousness, that the future is formed, that health is nurtured, that wealth is shaped, that relationships are healed, that dreams are given substance and form, waiting only for your sustained attention, belief, and devotion to bring them into the light of day. Mental acceptance is the first step to outer manifestation, the golden key that unlocks the treasures of the subconscious mind. Before any visible result can appear in your life, Before any prayer can be answered, before any dream can be realized, it must first be accepted as real, as true, within the inner chambers of your mind. Life does not respond to wishes half-believed or to hopes clouded with doubt. It responds to the clear, definite acceptance of the thing desired, held steadily and lovingly within the feeling nature of your consciousness. When you mentally accept desire as already fulfilled, you impress it upon the creative medium of the subconscious. You give it form. You give it reality in the unseen. You plant the seed that, nourished by faith and feeling, must in due time break through the soil of the invisible and appear as visible fact. Just as the gardener accepts the reality of the harvest when he plants the seed, long before he sees the fruit, so must you accept the reality or good in consciousness before it appears in your outer world. There are many who pray fervently yet wonder why their prayers seem unanswered. They affirm abundance while secretly believing in scarcity. They declare health while inwardly fearing disease. They ask for love while feeling unworthy of receiving it. The law of mind is not moved by words alone, but by the emotional acceptance that accompanies those words. To truly accept mentally is to feel the truth of your desire so completely that no contradiction is allowed to enter the sanctuary of your thought. Mental acceptance is not forced. It is not a frantic straining. It is a quiet inner knowing. It is a calm, I embracing my loved one, unshakable feeling that what you have claimed within is already yours by divine right. It is a deep peace that comes from knowing that life moves from within outward, and that what you hold as real in mind must find its expression in the world of form. It is a surrender, not to outer appearances, but to the greater truth of the infinite within you. When you accept your good mentally, you stop striving for it. You stop chasing it as something separate from yourself. You recognize that you and your good are already one in the unseen, and that your only task is to keep your mind aligned with that truth. You no longer say, "Someday I will be successful," or "Maybe I will be healed." You say instead, "I am successful now. I am whole now. I am abundant now." And you feel these truths vibrating in the very core of your being. Mental acceptance brings you into harmony with the law of attraction, the law of correspondence, the law of growth. It tunes your vibration to the frequency of the reality you have chosen. It sets into motion unseen forces that orchestrate events, arrange circumstances, and guide you with perfect wisdom toward the full realization of your desire. You are no longer pushing against the current of life. You are moving with it, allowing it to carry you effortlessly to your good. If doubts arise, if old fears attempt to reclaim your attention, you gently return your focus to the truth you have accepted. You reaffirm mentally, emotionally, and with feeling the reality of your desired state. You refuse to allow temporary appearances to shake your inner conviction. My loved one, you know that just as the seed must break its shell and push through the dark before reaching the sunlight, so too must the unseen processes of the mind unfold in perfect order before outer conditions shift. You begin to understand that nothing happens in your outer world until it first happens in your inner world. Every promotion, every healing, every reconciliation, every success is first a victory won in the silent place within you. It is first claimed, accepted, felt, and rejoiced in mentally. Only then does it take form in the world of conditions. You realize that you do not create your good, you accept it. You do not manufacture success, you align with it. You do not beg for love, you radiate it from within and draw it to you effortlessly. Mental acceptance is the invitation that the infinite answers unfailingly. It is the open door through which your good flows naturally and abundantly into your experience. It is the inner song to which the universe responds with its own eternal yes. The subconscious mind, silent and infinitely powerful, stands ever ready to carry out the orders you issue through your inner declarations. It does not argue, it does not question, it does not reason as the conscious mind reasons. It simply accepts what you repeatedly affirm with conviction and feeling as true and sets to work at once to manifest that truth in the visible world. It acts upon your mental instructions with perfect fidelity, organizing circumstances, influencing events, guiding your steps, and drawing into your life the exact outpicturing of beliefs you hold most deeply. Your declarations are not mere words spoken into the air. They are living seeds planted in the fertile soil of the subconscious. When you affirm, "I am successful," "I am healthy," "I am abundantly supplied," and when you do so with heartfelt belief, the subconscious accepts these statements as commands and proceeds to bring them forth into expression through means known and unknown, natural and seemingly miraculous. The feeling attached to your words is the energizing force that determines how quickly and harmoniously they will manifest. It is not enough to utter declarations mechanically. Empty words repeated without feeling or belief pass by the subconscious like the idle sounds of a distant bell. But words charged with faith, saturated with conviction, impress themselves indelibly upon the deeper mind and awaken creative processes that move with unseen but irresistible power toward the fulfillment of your desires. What you declare inwardly and feel to be true becomes the blueprint from which your subconscious constructs the reality you live. You are always declaring something within yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously. Every thought you repeat, every belief you entertain, every image you hold with feeling is a declaration, a command, a creative act. If you declare limitation, fear, defeat, even passively through constant worry or complaint, the subconscious receives these declarations and acts accordingly. If you declare love, success, health, and abundance with faith and expectancy, the subconscious likewise accepts and works ceaselessly to express these realities. The subconscious mind cannot take a joke. It accepts every impression you permit to be planted, whether that impression serves you or hinders you. This is why guarding your inner speech is of such vital importance. Watch carefully what you are saying within yourself all day long. Every inner word is a decree, a building block, a silent sculptor shaping your future. Speak inwardly only that which you desire to experience. I declare only that which you wish to see manifested in your world. The power of your inner declarations lies in their repetition, their emotional charge, and their consistency. A single declaration made once and forgotten leaves little mark. But a declaration repeated daily, felt deeply, and held unwaveringly becomes a living thing within you. It grows, it takes root, it draws unto itself all that is necessary for its fulfillment. It transforms your subconscious expectations, your habitual reactions, your vibrational offering to the world around you. When you consistently declare yourself to be healthy, your subconscious directs the intelligent processes of your body toward healing and vitality. When you declare yourself to be successful, your subconscious draws to you ideas, people, and opportunities that align with success. When you declare yourself to be divinely guided, your subconscious speaks to you through intuition, hunches, inner promptings that lead you wisely along the path of your highest good. You must not allow yourself to be double-minded. To declare prosperity in one moment and fear poverty in the next is to confuse the subconscious and delay the manifestation of your desires. Be single-minded. Be steadfast. Let your declarations be firm, joyous, and unwavering, no matter what outer appearances may suggest. Stand in the inner assurance that what you declare with faith must manifest, because the creative law of your being can never fail. Through your inner declarations, you are constantly molding the unseen substance of life. You are writing the script for your future experiences. You are painting the landscape of your destiny. You are speaking into the law of mind, and the law responds with mathematical precision, giving form to the thoughts and words you have chosen to affirm with conviction. To impress the subconscious with the end result is to communicate with the creative forces of life in the only language they understand. The subconscious mind does not reason in steps, it does not require explanations, nor does it concern itself with the processes by which your desires will be fulfilled. It moves in a straight line from cause to effect. It works from the completed idea, from the finished state. Your task is not to figure out the details, but to assume mentally and emotionally that your goal is already accomplished, that your desire is already fulfilled, that the good you seek is already yours in the invisible, awaiting only its inevitable appearance in the visible. When you impress the subconscious with the end result, you bypass the obstacles of logic, reason, and doubt. You do not trouble yourself with whether it is possible or practical. You do not dilute your faith by trying to solve every step of the journey. You dwell directly in the feeling of the answered prayer. You enter mentally into the state you desire, living from it rather than toward it. You imagine yourself already in possession of your good, feeling the joy, the gratitude, the satisfaction that would naturally accompany its realization. The subconscious mind, ever faithful, ever obedient, takes this feeling state as its instruction. It accepts the end you present as real and immediately sets into motion all necessary conditions, events, people, and ideas to bring about the outward manifestation. It arranges the threads of life with infinite wisdom, weaving together a tapestry of experiences that align perfectly with the inner pattern you have impressed. You need not see how it will come. You need only to persist in the assumption that it already is. There is no power in heaven or earth that can withhold from the good you have clearly and consistently accepted within. The laws of mind are sure, precise, unfailing. When you imagine the end vividly and persistently, when you feel it as real, when you think and act from the consciousness of the fulfilled desire, you impress the subconscious deeply and indelibly. You plant a seed that must, according to the nature of all seeds, grow and bear fruit after its kind. Impressing the subconscious with the end result requires more than idle wishing. It demands the full engagement of your imagination, your feeling nature, and your inner conviction. You must see the picture clearly. You must feel the emotions genuinely. You must accept the reality inwardly without reservation. In your inner world, you must walk as the successful, healthy, joyous being you desire to be. You must speak, think, and move in harmony with the accomplished state, ignoring appearances that suggest otherwise. Every time you return to the feeling of the fulfilled desire, every time you live mentally in the end, you deepen the impression upon the subconscious. Every moment spent dwelling in the consciousness of success, health, abundance, or love strengthens the magnetic field that draws your good to you. You are not forcing the manifestation, you are allowing it. You are aligning yourself with the divine currents of life that are always flowing toward greater expression, greater fulfillment, greater joy. The imagination is the tool by which you shape the invisible substance of life. When you visualize the end result vividly and with emotion, you are sculpting your future in the unseen. You are creating a mold into which the creative forces of the subconscious pour the substance of your reality. The clearer and more detailed your mental image, the stronger the impression upon the subconscious. The more often you dwell upon it with loving expectancy, the more rapidly it moves into visible form. It is not necessary to constantly strain or effort in imagination. A few moments each day spent in quiet, joyful contemplation of your fulfilled desire are more powerful than hours of anxious mental struggle. Enter the inner sanctuary of your mind. See yourself as already successful, already healed, already in harmonious relationships, already in possession of the wealth you desire. Feel it, accept it, live from it. Trust that the invisible processes are working perfectly on your behalf, for once the subconscious has received the end result, the manifestation is assured by the eternal law of mind. Doubt and double-mindedness are the great thieves of dreams. They are the silent forces that slow the march of answered prayers and scatter the seeds of desire, before they can take root and blossom into form. To entertain doubt is to weaken the impression you have made upon your subconscious mind. To be double-minded, to affirm your good in one breath and deny it in the next, is to confuse the creative forces that would otherwise move swiftly to fulfill your heart's desire. The law of mind is precise and sure, but it demands consistency. It demands singleness of thought, singleness of feeling, singleness of belief. When you affirm health, wealth, love, or success, but inwardly wonder whether it will come to pass, you are sending mixed signals to the subconscious mind. You are impressing both the positive and the negative, and the result is delay, confusion, and sometimes the apparent absence of any movement at all. The subconscious, faithful servant that it is, cannot build upon a shifting foundation. It requires a clear blueprint, a firm conviction, an unwavering inner image to work upon. Every time you allow doubt to enter, you pull up the tender seedlings you have planted. Every time you rehearse fear, entertain anxiety, or mentally envision failure, you are watering the weeds instead of the flowers. The subconscious mind responds to the dominant vibration you maintain. If that vibration fluctuates between faith and fear, between expectation and despair, between gratitude and worry, the results will be equally unstable and uncertain. You must be steadfast, unwavering, rooted in the firm soil of inner certainty. Double-mindedness often masquerades as caution, prudence, or realism. It whispers that it is foolish to believe too strongly, that disappointment lurks behind every hope, that it is safer to expect little and be surprised than expect much and be let down. But these whispers are the echoes of old fears, old failures, old conditioning that has nothing to do with the limitless possibilities available to you through the creative power within. Life responds not to cautious half-beliefs but to bold, confident inner knowing. The mind must be trained to hold fast to the vision of the desired good, even when outer appearances suggest the contrary. This is the true test of faith. To persist in believing in abundance when bills pile high. To persist in believing in health when symptoms linger. To persist in believing in love when loneliness remains. It is, my loved one, it is this unwavering mental attitude that impresses the subconscious so deeply and so powerfully that the outer world must eventually conform. If you find yourself slipping into doubt, if old fears rise up and cloud your inner vision, do not condemn yourself. Simply return, gently but firmly, to the truth you have claimed. Reaffirm your good. Reignite the feeling of its presence within you. Remind yourself that outer appearances are the delayed reflections of past thinking, and that new inner acceptance will, in time, bring about new outer experiences. Hold to your vision with the persistence of a river carving its way through stone, knowing that every moment spent in faith strengthens the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Consistency is the law of growth. A seed watered one day and neglected the next cannot flourish. A plant uprooted and replanted repeatedly cannot bear fruit. Likewise, your mental seeds must be nurtured with steady thought, steady feeling, steady expectancy. As you dwell more and more in the consciousness of your fulfilled desire, as you refuse to be moved by appearances, as you affirm and reap truth of your good, you create the inner conditions necessary for manifestation. A life seeks to fulfill your every inner acceptance. The moment you claim your good with unwavering faith, the processes of creation are set into motion. But when you mix your faith with fear, your conviction with doubt, you interrupt the flow, you scatter the energy, you hinder the fulfillment. You are meant to be single-minded, to see only the end you desire, to feel only the joy of its accomplishment, to think, speak, and act in harmony with the reality you have chosen. When your mind is clear, your heart steady, your faith persistent, nothing can prevent the invisible forces from weaving your dream into the fabric of your life. Persistent inner claiming is the golden path to the inevitable fulfillment of every desire held faithfully within the heart. The universe responds not to a fleeting wish or a half-hearted hope, but to the deep, steady, unwavering inner declaration that your good is already yours. It is not enough to think once or twice about the life you wish to create. It is not enough to imagine briefly and then forget, to affirm one day and despair the next. True creation requires persistence. It demands the continuous inner acceptance of your chosen reality, regardless of what the outer world may momentarily present. When you persist in claiming your good inwardly, you are impressing upon the subconscious mind a living, breathing pattern. Each repetition strengthens the mold. Each affirmation deepens the groove. Each return to the feeling of fulfillment makes the vision more real within, until it grows into a mighty conviction, an unshakable certainty, a quiet inner knowing that does not waver before appearances. It is this persistent claiming, this calm insistence, that prepares the way for the invisible to become visible, for the dream to step out of the shadows into the full light of day. The forces of life are moved by your sustained inner focus. They are shaped and directed by your continued mental acceptance. When you persistently claim health, even when the body protests, you align your inner forces with healing and restoration. When you persistently claim abundance, even when outer conditions suggest lack, you set into motion currents that bring supply through unexpected channels. When you persistently claim love, even when loneliness echoes, embracing my loved one, you magnetize your heart to draw to you the companionship and harmony you have already accepted within. The subconscious mind does not resist the persistent impress. Like the sea responding to the pull of the moon, it yields inevitably to the dominant force placed upon it. It must, by its very nature, bring forth what has been planted with feeling, watered with faith, and nurtured with persistence. It is not a matter of if, it is only a matter of when. Just as the seed planted in the soil must sprout, if properly tended, so must the mental seed you plant and persistently nurture grow into the corresponding outer reality. There may be times when appearances seem stubborn, when progress seems slow, when doubts whisper and fears knock at the door of your mind. These are the moments when persistence is most needed. These are the moments when the true creator stands firm, holding fast to the inner claim, refusing to be moved by what the eyes see or the ears hear. These are the moments when the invisible roots are growing deepest, preparing to burst forth in visible bloom. Every inner claim made in faith is a seed planted. Every time you return to your vision, every time you reaffirm your good, every time you feel the joy of already having received, you are watering that seed. You are strengthening its hold upon the creative soil of your subconscious. You are building an inner momentum that no outer resistance can withstand. You are moving steadily, silently, irresistibly toward the harvest that is already yours by divine right. Persistence transforms belief into conviction, and conviction draws to itself the full resources of the infinite mind. Life reorganizes itself around the patterns you hold most faithfully within. New ideas, new opportunities, new relationships, new pathways open before you as if by magic, but it is not magic. It is the lawful, orderly, inevitable unfolding of the good you have persistently claimed. You become like a magnet, a drawing to yourself all that aligns with the image you have embraced. Persistent inner claiming is the silent prayer answered without ceasing. It is the song of the soul that shapes the universe around it. It is the gentle but powerful force that carves rivers through rock, that lifts mountains, that reshapes destiny. It does not shout, does not force. It does not hurry. It simply holds. It simply trusts. It simply knows that what is accepted within must, by the law of life, manifest without hold steadfast to the vision you have claimed within. Trust the silent working of the infinite mind. Know with quiet certainty that what you have accepted inwardly must, by law, appear outwardly. Your faith is the bridge, and your persistence is the power that brings all things into perfect form.